This episode of JTech Apple is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the review for you of the iPhone 5C. Apple has newly introduced this device to replace the iPhone 5 and what many people could call the cheaper version of the iPhone 5. It isn't necessarily cheaper for us in terms of the price, but it is likely cheaper for Apple since it is made out of polycarbonate. It does share the same specs as the iPhone 5 for the most part, with the Apple A6 1.3 GHz processor, 1GB of RAM, and the camera is also 8 megapixels. On the bottom, you've got the usual, including the lightning connector, a set of speakers, and also your 3.5mm headphone jack. So in general, the internals of the device do come from the iPhone 5, but what does change is the actual external look and feel of the whole device. Like I said, it does not have the aluminum construction to it, however, it does have a new plastic construction that is also available in 5 very vibrant colors, including blue, green, yellow, white, and pink. The device itself does feel much better in the hand than I have actually originally expected. It is very smooth, very shiny. Apple has really tried to make the device as seamless as possible, so when you're holding on it, it has a nice feel to the hand, and in general, I think Apple did do a very good job with that. On the front, you've got the same 4-inch 1136 by 640 resolution display, and one thing I have to say is I was kind of surprised that Apple did not offer it any white front, but only in the black, which some people may not like. Taking a look at the home button, I did feel that the home button on the iPhone 5C was kind of improved from the iPhone 5. It feels much more tactile, I have to say, but one thing it is missing is the fingerprint sensor that is seen on the iPhone 5S, so if you're looking for a fingerprint sensor, you might want to go with the 5S. The device itself does come in at 9mm thick, a little bit thicker than its predecessor, the iPhone 5 and even the iPhone 5S now, but I guess it really isn't a big deal as the device itself does form very nicely around the hand, but I did find the plastic to be a little bit slippery. Build quality is also a lot of the talks of the iPhone 5C as well. Of course, with plastic, you're not going to get the same amount of durability as metal or aluminum, but I did find that the iPhone 5C, if you took a look at the drop tests, actually did hold out just fine, and Apple does also offer official cases, but the front of the iPhone 5C seemed to break much easier than it did on the iPhone 5 and 5S. So the iPhone 5C does ship with Apple's new iOS 7, and I definitely would say that it was time for Apple to change it up this year, and I think iOS 7 really complements the iPhone 5C very well. The flat look and the nice vibrant colors and the backgrounds that they have included really complement the simplicity and seamlessness of the design on the iPhone 5C, and some of the more notable features such as Control Center, which people do say is borrowed from Android, but I think it is very handy and something I've wanted for a very long time, and we definitely had to wait quite a long time for that, as iOS for the most part did stay the same since something like 2007 when it was first introduced. There's also a new app switcher and multitasking menu there, so I think I really like the card layout, but there's just so many things to go over in iOS 7. I'm sure all of you have had a try at it or downloaded it on your new device, so I'm not going to go in depth with that, but I do say that iOS 7 does function very nicely on the iPhone 5C. Moving on to the camera, for the most part it does stay the same as the iPhone 5. It's an 8 megapixel camera with the LED flash as you can see, and also a microphone hole, and on the front they do say that they did make some improvements to it with a 1.9 megapixel camera, so I'm going to show you guys some of the footage, but let's take a look at the actual camera application that was updated in iOS 7. So again, you know that Apple likes to keep everything very simple, so for the most part there's only a few functions that you can select, such as HDR on off, the flash, and also switch to the front-facing camera. They've also introduced some filters to iOS 7. These are live filters, and to be honest, they don't really look that good, and I'd rather use a third-party application. There's also a square photo mode that makes it very handy if you're taking Instagram pictures to frame them up. But one thing that isn't seen on the iPhone 5C is the slow motion video that we did see on the iPhone 5S. The photos for the most part do seem pretty clear, just like on the iPhone 5, and it does still have a nice depth of field, so I really don't have much to say about that. There really isn't much of a change in the photo quality. When it comes to the low light photos, however, there is actually a huge change. If you saw my side-by-side comparison, the iPhone 5C surprisingly does take much better low light photos than it did on the iPhone 5, even though I did expect them to have all the same specs in terms of the camera department. And the front-facing camera, I'd say, looks just as clear as it did before. In terms of the video quality, again, I wouldn't say that there is a huge difference. I did notice that the camera on the iPhone 5 in terms of the video did do just slightly of a better job. You can see there's some grain in the background, but you can see it still captures all the details. The colors are still very clear, and I would say that the video quality definitely doesn't disappoint. Before we head out, let's take one last look at our sponsor. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. They're constantly trying to improve their platform with new features, new designs, and even better support. They already have very beautiful designs for you to start with and all the style options you need to create a unique website for you or your business. And they also have an amazing support team that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the event you need help. Every design also includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device every time. The plans start at just $8 a month, and it even includes a free domain name if you sign up for a year. For JTech Apple viewers, head over to the link to start your free trial now, no credit card required, and if you would like a discount on your first purchase, please use the coupon code JTech10. So my final thoughts of the iPhone 5C. I will admit that there is quite a bit of controversy when this device was announced. The fact that it wasn't a budget class phone, it was still the same price of what the iPhone 5 would have been, but instead Apple had replaced it with a phone that was made out of, you would say, a cheaper build quality. But I have to say I did like the phone much more than I thought I would. It has a very nice smooth finish to it, the plastic is very nicely done, and I think Apple actually did an amazing job in terms of the quality. It actually is better than I thought, and when you look at it, it has a nice smooth look to it, very reflective. And the device, I couldn't stress enough, does feel very good in the hand. But aside from that, I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below, so let me know what color or model phone you're going to be picking up, and I'll see you all in the next video.